Now we're alive, alert, awake.
Yes, we
are. You know, sometimes we hear that song and we go, that doesn't sound very New Thought. But it really is. Scripture says, to those who have, more will be given. To those who have not, it will be taken away. It's about consciousness. Do I have an awareness that my good is here? And if I do, it comes like a magnet. If I affirm it's not here, what do? We're pushing it away. We're going away. So what that song says is, God bless you when you know you've got your own. Because more will come. If you keep saying it's not here, it's not here, it's not here, I don't know where it is. Guess what? They'll be hiding. Like me and Wendy. I mean, she walked right in, saw me, didn't even see me. She's like, where is he? I'm right here. 60 years old. A couple of years ago, a British newspaper collected data from various sources to see how our lives are spent, how much of our lives are spent every day doing what we're doing. So they broke it down by how many hours or days or months we spend on our endeavors in our whole lifetime. It was really fascinating stuff. In a woman's lifetime, she will spend 3,276 hours in the bathroom getting ready for a night out. That's quite a night out. But men spend 3,000 hours shaving, so it all evens out there. We will spend 23,000 hours doing laundry in a life. 3,000 hours going up and down the elevator if you live in New York. 27 days waiting for a subway or bus. 6 months of waiting in line. Bring a book. That's a lot to wait for. 11 years in front of television. 11 years watching television. 1,000 channels. Nothing's on. I'll watch Friends again. 38,000 hours eating. 5 years on the internet. 26 years sleeping and 7 having insomnia. This guy, 47,000 hours doing housework. 47 hours. Right. Guys, we dust around the books. There's no dust under the book. They've been there for a year or two. But here's what I found really fascinating. We spent 3 months laughing and 5 months complaining.
Stop.
It appears we spend more time being unhappy than happy. And those extra 2 months of complaining undo that joyfulness. It's really easy to undo our joyfulness. Way too easy. When you think about your life today, what is foremost on your mind and heart? When you think about today, what did you wake up thinking about? When you talk about your life with others, do you affirm how good it's going to be in 2016? About how wonderful life is right now? Or do you mutter about how bad it is? We affirm wonderful things, I'm alive, alert, awake, blah, blah, blah. And we go and we talk to a friend afterwards. What are you telling them? Wow, this is what we talked about today. Or, oh God, I'm glad that's over so I can talk about the real stuff now. Yeah, it's wonderful to affirm, but here's what's going on. Well, the but has just erased everything we just had this morning. Do we affirm how wonderful my life is right now, or how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to take care of the holiday bills I just had? Or how happy it is that I am to have the friends and the people that are around me. Or how awful are the people that I work with. Or how my home, my career, my life are really great. It's really wonderful and getting better. Or how worried I am about how this new year is going to turn out. Last year was not that great, right? I don't know about this new year. I hope it's better. Well, it doesn't sound like it's a good start so far. If the positive thoughts are predominant in our lives, if you woke up feeling positive and joy, I mean, we all have challenges we're going through, of course. But what is foremost in our minds and our hearts? If the positive thoughts are predominant, that means we have been joyfully grateful about the good that we know is ours. And how much more is coming forth in 2016. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
7 people so far, that's good. 7 people are going to have a great 2016. The rest of you are going to let me know.
Dial in.
If it's mainly negative that we're thinking and having within our guts, that means we're trying to make life work. It means you think you're in charge somehow of doing this. How am I, and we're using our head, how am I going to do this? As opposed to how is God going to move this information through me so I know what to do? If you're trying to do it, it's pretty negative. If you're allowing Spirit to do it through you, it's probably pretty wonderful. What percentage are you trying to do it, and what percentage are you allowing God to do it? This past year, many of you know I left Unity of New York uptown because for me, I'm just saying for me, the energy of the center was no longer working for me in a healthy way. It was not a healthy place for me to be. So I went to California to start a new center, but it did not unfold or manifest in the way that worked for me either. Of course, there were times I was looking and saying, I thought I really heard this. I really thought this is what I was being led to do. So there were times of confusion and disappointment. What I thought would be different turned out to be really different. I said, no, this is a different kind of different than I wanted. But I kept to the truth knowing that God was present. That's where the power is. God is present right here, revealing the good that I need to know about what I'm doing here. And I was able most of the time, I would say, 80% of the time, I was affirming lovely things. It's really warm here, so beautiful, the flowers are great. What about Unity? The flowers are so pretty. The mountains, look at that. How's Unity? The mountains are so beautiful. There were days, there were weeks where I was confused, I was angry, I was sad, I was depressed, I was anxious. I was wondering, should I even do this work anymore? My future was, I was trying to get the picture and it was a little hazy. Especially it was like, all right, if it's not working here, perhaps another Unity would want what I have to offer. And it appears that they didn't. They said, you got a great resume. We're so impressed with you, but you're too weird. They didn't say the word weird. They don't say that in Unity. They just go, we think you'd be bored here. They were probably right. But as I kept affirming and knowing the truth, my spiritual and meditation work revealed that I was having a yellow brick road experience. Remember, Dorothy had to go do the journey so she could come back in a healthy way. I had to leave New York City to come back to New York City. Do you get that? Yeah. I had to leave to do it right. I had to get a perspective and I had to get healthy myself so I could come back and be healthy for you. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're ready.
Oh, you are. What I got was that ministry, no matter what the other ministries that were out there was saying to me, I got finally that ministry is the work I'm here to do. And that New York City is my home, therefore the two went together. That was to come here. I invited dialogue, but there was not an invitation back to do dialogue, so I said, fine, I'll begin this. You're doing what? You're going independent. How can you do that? I said, this is how I do this. Have you met me? That's how it began uptown. we broke up. And so that's the way, when you hear Spirit, you're led to do what you're led to do. And what other people think about what you're led to do is none of your business. You understand that too. It's none of your business what they think or feel about you. Because it has nothing to do with you. So it took a while to see that truth, and with help from Gary, with Terry and Donna and other wonderful angels here, who kept saying, well, maybe you can consider this. Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. That it was revealed that my joy is here. So where is your joy? What gives you great joy to do and to be? Location is very important. We know that. You've got to be in a place that you feel is home. The great lesson that I got to own, though I knew it intellectually, and of course I've been teaching it for years, but I finally had a chance to really play with and got to know, is that you can always begin again. Always. You can never not begin again. Because the truth is, you wake up in the morning, you're beginning again. You wake up, oh, here we have a new day. A new year. A new way of looking at it. Last year wasn't fun for you, perhaps. Well, welcome to this year. Happy New You. You're here to do it again. And to do it again, and do it again. Often people will come to me when I was working in Silent Unity, I would say probably once or twice a week. And during my ministry, at least a half a dozen times in the year, people would tell me that they wanted to commit suicide, that they did not want to be here anymore. And I reminded them, you want to come back and go through high school again? Really? You remember that, don't you? Do you want to have to deal with being a child again and going through all that stuff? Because the truth is, we're going to have to go through it again. If we take ourselves out of here, it does not end. The pain goes with you, the challenges go with you, you just have to work through it. And if you're going through the challenge, you might as well work through it now. Go through it now so you don't have to go through it again. Because you will. We take what we are with us. Whether we go to Palm Springs, or we go to Toronto, or we go to the other side, you're going to bring you with you. So deal with you now. Let it go. Give it to God and let God reveal the next step. You didn't get that job. You didn't get that show. You knew that Broadway show was going to be yours and you didn't get it. Okay, there's another show for you then. That was not your show. That was not your job. That was not your position. Yours is waiting for you. So get joyful about it and watch it come forth. You didn't get that mate in 2015. Oh, boo-hoo. Look around. A lot of us didn't get a mate in 2015. Okay. We have to know that we have to be the person we want to attract if we're going to have that. You have to be that which you're looking for. So you have to be, and you have to know that you are that irresistible, gorgeous, fascinating, hot self that you're looking for. Would you date you? Yes. Laughter is not quite the response I was looking for. Hopefully it was a joyful laugh. Exactly. But if you're not the person that you would date, what do you need to do to turn that around? You have to know that you are irresistible, loving, worthwhile to be in somebody's life, to be in your own life. You love yourself, or at least have the process begin or continue. You don't have to love yourself 100% yet. I mean, we're all in process with everything. But at least like yourself a little bit. Like yourself enough to know that you deserve to have somebody in your life if that's what you want. If you don't want somebody in your life, that's great too. Friends, family, dogs, whatever it is that you want in your life, you can have. If you didn't make enough financial good last year, worrying about it this year will shut that down. Complaining about it will keep it away totally. So watch your words when you're talking about your money. It's very important to do that. Now, sometimes we would say, well, I'm just reporting. Well, reporting is putting it into the universe. Now, sometimes we do need to talk about it to get it out, to get it clear, and then move on. So talking about it and getting healthy about it is different than complaining daily about it. We understand that, right? So do what you need to do. Get therapy. Share with a person you know is going to hold you in prayer, and then move on to your good. This year, we are going to affirm a new truth, or the truth. God's inexhaustible good is flowing into my life now. God's inexhaustible good is flowing into my life now. Affirm that with me. God's inexhaustible good is flowing into my life now. My income soars through the roof.
My income soars through the roof.
I have more than enough money to spare and share.
I have more than enough money to spare and share.
I accept unexpected financial good.
I accept unexpected financial good.
This is a long one. Now, wait for it. I am a success in my chosen field, and I get so excited about what I don't know what to say. I am a success in my chosen field, and only the best want to work with me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, you don't know it yet. I'm reading it, I can't do it. Let me say it. I'm so excited. I am a success in my chosen field.
I am a success in my chosen field.
And only the best.
And only the best
Want to work with me.
want to work with me.
Read that in. I am healthy and strong.
I am healthy and strong.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Sexy.
Sexy.
Magnetic.
Magnetic.
And hot.
And hot.
And hot.
And hot.
And hot.
And hot.
Ooh, good. I am loved by God, the universe, and everything in it. I am loved by God, the universe, and everything in it. Breathe that in. You can feel the walls vibrating here. You're very good at this. Here, anyway. I want you to be good at it every day. When you wake up, when you go to bed. When something tells you from the outside you're not, I want you to know the inexhaustible good of God is already here. Now, whatever affirmation stuck in your throat that you were having a hard time saying, that made you almost pass out, those are the ones I invite you to meditate on. What was hard? Was it hard to say, I have enough money, or I am hot? Sometimes I am hot is harder to say than I have enough money. And why do they bother you? Meditate on the ones that you said, well, that doesn't seem right. Were you too well taught that to affirm that was arrogant, was selfish, was just plain wrong? It isn't. It's the truth of you. You are a creation of divinity herself. You truly are. You are perfect just as you are. I was chatting with somebody about that earlier. We are perfect. Now, we're not flawless. I mean, we have stuff we're working with. But you are perfect. You're complete. There's nothing missing from you. So knowing this truth is knowing what is already inside, whether it's come out or not. You were created with all these qualities and more. But we have to know it. We have to be consciously aware of it and let it come forth. Only when you finally choose to align your vision and your understanding with God's truth and vision will we be able to see it very clearly. Others can tell us over and over again, oh, you're talented, you're this, you're that. We don't really believe it until we hear it from within. It's nice to get that confirmation on the outside, but only when you know it in your heart will you be able to access it and use it in your life. Years ago, I counseled a woman who really didn't think a mate was possible for her. She said, well, I tried it, I did the dating thing, I've done everything. So I invited her to work on what we call a divine order list. A divine order list is something that you get a dedicated notebook, and you write down every single thing about this thing that you want. So I invited her to get a specially dedicated notebook, and for a full week, write down what she desired to have in a man. I said, just keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. Don't edit it, just keep writing it for a full week. No detail in this divine order form is unimportant. If it's important to you, if it resonates with you, then write it down. Height, weight, hair color, work, interest, temperament, whatever it might be. If it's right for you, it's right. If you found equality appealing, it was good. If it isn't, don't write it down. If it's something that you don't care for, then let it go. I shared with her, after a week, put the book away, then go back to it and cross out what you can do without. Like, that's fine. Freckles, no, it's fine. If you have it, fine. If not, that's fine. Let's just take it out. She came and she had written 50 pages. Wow, that's clear. I said, now edit. And give thanks that this right now, that Spirit has this person waiting for you. And again, we have to remember that God does not work in the past. It's gone. The past has already happened. God doesn't work in the future because the future is always the future. God is only at work right now. When you, the powerful being of Spirit that you are, live in the past, what you're doing is you're dragging what was and making that your current reality. Because you're bringing your emotions to it, and the universe responds to emotion. That is what we're making our lives every day. And we're not allowing Creative Spirit to bring the new that we've been looking for. So if you're affirming that you want something good, if you're still resentful in the past, you're still bringing that with you. When you keep hoping and wishing for good to happen someday, on the other hand, you're living a hypothetical situation that is not the reality of now. And God does not work in hypothetical situations. We get worried, oh my God, what if that happens? And God says, I don't understand. No compete. What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying. Because that's not the reality of Spirit. What we're doing is we're creating a misreality, if you will, in our minds and our hearts. And we get excited, we get upset about it immediately, but it hasn't happened. So let it go. The future is already promised to be wonderful when we align ourselves with that good. So this woman and I prayed together. I said, keep getting excited about the possibility and knowing that this man is here for you right now. And she came back a week later. She got from 50 pages down to 30. It was the beginning. I said, was that all 20 pages is all you crossed out? She said, yes, she meditated, she thought about it, and the remaining qualities were all mandatory. He has to have this. I said, okay. And so it is. A couple of months went by, and I got a call. She had met someone who had every single quality in those 30 pages. Every single, she was as amazed as I was. Every single quality. I officiated their wedding. That was over 10, 12 years ago now. Yeah. She's still married, they're very happy together. She created him. I mean, it's already there, but, you know, when we are clear within ourselves what's important, 30 pages later even, it will show up because you're clear and you're excited about it. And you know as a child of God that what you call forth has to appear. It has to, because you have affirmed it, you demanded it, and you have called it into your life. As Thich Nhat Hanh shared in the reading we heard from Kathleen earlier, the address of happiness, your address of your life is here and now. It isn't anywhere else but right at this present moment, right in your mindfulness at this very moment. Your life only can operate now. Again, it's not the past, not the future, at this very moment. So I have a New Year's assignment for you. I want you to get a notebook. Get a really beautiful one that you want to use and carry and admire. It gets you excited to look at. One of those leather ones, or maybe just something that's really beautiful. And I want you to write about one issue that you desire to have come into manifestation for you this year. Now, don't dilute your work with too many issues. People always think, oh, I have more than 3. It's like, well, good for you. Focus on one. How are the 3 going for you right now? You know, what happens, we get divided, we start wanting to do everything, and then we have no energy for one. So you focus on one and let God take care of the other ones. Is that a good deal? Yeah. Great. So you just focus on one and let the other ones go for it, just for now. And I want you to write everything you desire about that one issue in the book. Just keep writing for a week. Every time something comes, have it with you, just write it down, but don't read it. Let it go. Then a week later, or even 2 weeks later, because you get a little more distance, it's great, cross off what really is not important about that. So health, money, career, mate, home, whatever it is, the issue that's up for you, get a dedicated book and just this is your God book. This is your every idea, every thought. Write it down. Let it go. Keep reading it after the 2 weeks. Read it, edit it, put it away for a while, bring it out, and allow the Spirit to bring it into your life. Again, how is not up to you. Do we understand that how is going to happen is not up to you? We see what happens when we think we know how it's going to happen. Our lives become an episode of I Love Lucy. Lucy Ricardo comes out and tries to do it, and we know what happens. It gets all messed up. So don't get in God's way. Let Spirit reveal every day what and how is going to do. The timing is not yours. None of it is yours except for you to get joyfully grateful, to be excited about it, to be happy about it, to say, thank you, God. I can't wait to see how this is going to work out. So again, what you are choosing for this notebook, here's the criteria I want you to work with. What you choose has to be really exciting and scares the stuffing out of you. The thing that's the most scary is the thing that you need to do. The idea that you thought you killed off years ago. The dream that never died and never will. Deal with it. It keeps coming up and you keep pushing it down. Same here. Oh, no, can't deal with you. No, you can't happen. And God's saying, well, I got it. Let that be your notebook. Let that be the one that you're working on now. Because you're here to have the most joyful, wonderful, exciting, fulfilling, loving, mind-blowing, heart-expanding, creatively satisfying life you could ever have. That's the promise of Spirit. If you follow Spirit within your heart, your life will be wonderful. But you and I have to let God guide it. Because I don't know with my head how that will happen. From the heart, I do when I listen and when I let go. So your number one job on this planet is to be joyfully grateful for the good that is coming that you don't know how is actually going to happen. So today I choose to be joyfully grateful for the overflowing abundance, wholeness, and success now. Now, it may not look like now, but once you pray it, it is happening and in process. It may show up a day later, a week later, a month later, maybe at the end of the year. You don't know. But you will feel the process. You'll begin to see signs that it's actually working. And then you live in the now, and God will deliver it now. Again, it may look on the outside planet that is unfolding, that it isn't here at the very moment, but believe me, it is at work as soon as you pray and let it go. Again, your work is to keep excited, keep present, get grateful, be enthusiastic, and faith-filled that God's got this. Not up to me, God's got this. There's really nothing else to be done. When you know this is at work, then every day you're going to get, this is what your job is for today. Go meet a friend, talk about what you're doing, cast your net to the right and perfect people. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Don't tell people who are not holding your vision. Perhaps that might be family. As much as we love them, they may think, oh, you're back on that, are you? Don't tell them until it happens. But get ready for the life that you were meant to have in the way that you were meant to have it. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Breathe in.